On a frozen, desolate alien world, a man is forced to die, and die, and die again. His job is to take on the most dangerous, suicidal missions imaginable, because for him, death isn't the end. It's just a reboot. But what happens when the system designed to make him disposable glitches? What happens when a man who has already died 16 times comes face to face with his own replacement? To really get how Mickey Barnes ended up in this impossible, terrifying spot, we have to go back to the beginning. We open in the not-so-distant future, with Earth on the brink of collapse. As a last-ditch effort for survival, humanity has launched a massive colonization mission to an ice planet called Niflheim. For Mickey Barnes, a down-on-his-luck guy played by Robert Pattinson, this is a chance to escape a loan shark who wants him dead. But the ticket to Niflheim comes with a hell of a price. He has to sign up to be an expendable, a controversial new class of worker with basically zero rights. The deal is brutally simple. Whenever Mickey dies on a mission, and they fully expect him to, a new body is reprinted back at the base, and his backed-up memories are downloaded into the fresh clone. He is, for all intents and purposes, a disposable tool, a cog in the corporate machine whose entire life has been turned into a commodity. After the long journey to Niflheim, the grim reality of his new life sets in. He's thrown into a bleak cycle of lethal assignments, scouting deadly terrain, handling hazardous materials, anything deemed too risky for a real human. The mission's leadership, headed by the smug, power-hungry politician Kenneth Marshall, treats him with total indifference. He's not Mickey Barnes anymore. He's just Mickey, a number that goes up with every death. By the time our story kicks off, he's already on his 17th life. The one bright spot in this living hell is Nasha, a security officer played by Naomi Aki. They formed a deep connection during the voyage, and she's one of the only people who still sees him as a person, not a piece of equipment. Her empathy is a quiet act of rebellion against the colony's cruel, utilitarian system. Then there's his friend Timo, played by Steven Yeun, a more complicated figure. It was Timo's screw-up that landed Mickey in debt in the first place, forcing him to become an expendable. But he's still one of the few connections Mickey has left. So that's Mickey 17's life in a nutshell. A loop of sacrifice, punctuated by fleeting moments of humanity before the next fatal error. So, where does it all go wrong? The breaking point comes during a mission to study the planet's native life forms, a mysterious species the humans call creepers. While on a scouting run, Mickey 17 gets caught in a rock slide and tumbles into a deep ice fissure. His comms go dark, his vitals flatline. Back at the base, Command follows protocol and declares him dead. Just another casualty, another number to replace. The printer whirs to life, and a new, identical body is generated. Mickey 18 is born, his mind full of every memory right up to the moment Mickey 17 supposedly died. But deep inside that frozen chasm, the impossible happened. Mickey 17 survived. Battered and presumed dead, he's discovered by the very creatures he was sent to observe. But the creepers aren't mindless monsters. They show a flicker of intelligence, of curiosity, and they ultimately spare him. After a brutal journey, Mickey 17 claws his way out of the ice and stumbles back to the colony, running on pure survival instinct. He arrives to a site that completely shatters his reality. He sees Mickey 18, a perfect copy of himself, living his life, talking to his friends, getting ready for the next job. The system has glitched. The colony now has two Mickeys, a situation they call a multiple. This isn't just a weird anomaly, it's a capital crime. According to the colony's rigid laws, a multiple is a threat to the entire social order. Both versions must be found and immediately recycled. Suddenly, the disposable man is now a forbidden duplicate, and a desperate fight for a single existence is about to begin. The two Mickeys are now fugitives living inside their own life. Their first meeting is a mess of confusion, paranoia, and the raw instinct to survive. Mickey 18, being fresher and more aggressive, wants to get rid of his predecessor, seeing him as a threat to his own life. But they quickly realize that fighting each other is a guaranteed death sentence for both of them. To survive, they have to work together. They form a tense, secret alliance, rotating shifts, and even sharing a single identity to hide their existence from the crew. It's a desperate, absurd dance, with two men sharing one job, one girlfriend in Nasha, and one simple goal: don't get caught. But keeping that secret is nearly impossible under the watchful eye of the expedition's leader, Kenneth Marshall, played with slimy glee by Mark Ruffalo. Marshall is the kind of failed politician who sees this frozen rock as his own private kingdom to rule, flanked by his equally manipulative wife, Ilfa, played by Toni Collette. They represent the corrupt elite who see people like Mickey as pawns in their own petty games for power. To make matters worse, the conflict with the native creepers is escalating. The humans, in their colonial arrogance, abducted a creeper infant, and the species is furious. It turns out the creepers aren't just animals. They're an intelligent, hive-mind society that is fiercely protective of its young. They begin retaliating with powerful sonic attacks that threaten the entire colony. This external war mirrors the internal rot among the humans. The crew is fractured, and Mickey's friend, Timo, shows his true colors, his opportunism and betrayal proving how the system is designed to pit the powerless against each other. For Mickey 17 and 18, survival is no longer just about hiding from Marshall. It's about navigating a world where every alliance is fragile and every shadow could hide an enemy. Their precarious secret was never going to last. When their existence as a multiple is finally exposed, Marshall is furious. The law demands their immediate and quiet disposal, but Marshall sees an opportunity for a display of power. He doesn't want a quiet execution. He wants to make a statement. He orders a colony-wide manhunt, declaring the two Mickeys abominations that threaten their very way of life. The real threat is gathering outside. The creepers are preparing a final, devastating sonic assault. Their demand is simple and biblical: the return of their stolen child, and a life for a life. It's Nasha, the crew's moral compass, who understands this. Risking everything, she works with Mickey 17 to try and return the infant, hoping to broker peace. This is where the two Mickeys have to make an impossible choice. They can't both survive. In a moment of clarity, Mickey 18 sees the only way out. It's not about which one of them gets to live. It's about what their lives can mean. In a final heroic act of sacrifice, he decides to be the life the creepers are demanding. He creates a diversion, allowing himself to be captured by Marshall's forces. His death in the recycling chamber is not just another number on the tally. It's an act of agency that fulfills the creepers' demand for justice and, in doing so, exposes Marshall's sadistic tyranny to the entire colony. The sight of their leader executing a man who just saved them all is the final spark that ignites the flames of rebellion. The sacrifice of Mickey 18 and the exposure of Marshall's cruelty sends a shockwave through the colony. The simmering resentment among the crew finally boils over into a full-blown mutiny. The rigid, class-based hierarchy that Marshall brutally enforced collapses overnight. The crew, no longer divided by fear, rises up to overthrow the old guard and seize control of their own future. In the aftermath, a new, more democratic committee is formed to govern the colony. One of their first acts is a powerful and symbolic one. They officially dismantle the Expendable program. They don't just smash a machine, they destroy the very idea that a human life can be disposable. It's a profound shift, a declaration that no one will ever be treated as a reprintable object again. The system that turned people into products is abolished, marking the start of a new society built on respect and shared survival. For the sole surviving Mickey, this revolution is deeply personal. He is no longer an iteration, a number, or a tool. In a final, moving moment of recognition, the community restores his full name, Mickey Barnes. He is finally seen as an individual, a whole person who earned his place not through disposability, but through his resilience, his suffering, and the ultimate sacrifice of his other self. His long, agonizing journey is complete. The rehumanization of Mickey Barnes signals the rehumanization of the entire colony,